Where is he?
Where are you? Skull Rock. Do you know it?
Oh, well, this is Stacy over at the Skull Rock broadcast. I am joined by...
Hello, this is Megan. Welcome back to our Stranger Things and Pop Culture podcast. We are happy to be here again this week chatting with you. Are you good?
Quinn is like growling at us, at a spirit. Quinn, come here. He's been very boisterous lately. I don't know.
Yeah,
He's
well, you've had
finding his
company.
voice.
You've had company, so he has to talk, I guess, a lot.
He's got to fill the silence, I guess. I don't know. Either that or spirit. My God. Quinn, you're killing me, Smalls. Come over here and lay down. I'm sorry. How are you doing?
I'm doing okay. Just been working. Well, I mean, I had off a little bit last week, and then I also got sick, and
Oh no.
just like a cold, but I'm getting over it.
Yeah.
So I only worked a couple days last week, but this week has been busy already, but at least I'm more than halfway through it. And,
Hell yeah.
I'm going on vacation next week, so that's exciting.
You're going to be gone for 60 days.
I know, I'm going back out to sea.
Now, where are you going?
I have not been on a cruise since I was 19, and that was my first cruise, and now I'm going on 2 cruises.
So many.
In the span of 9 months. But yeah, I'm going with my whole family on a cruise to the Bahamas, so it'll be nice.
You going to get your hair braided?
Probably not. No, we'll see.
Get a henna tattoo,
I do love a good henna
else.
tattoo,
Right?
That was always my thing when I would go to the boardwalk over the summer.
Now, I used to call it boat sick. I guess the term is seasick. Do you get seasick?
I was a little worried about it last year, last summer when I went on the cruise to Alaska, and I didn't really notice anything. I took a whole bunch of Dramamine and they have these little wrist bracelet things with pressure point things. So I take all of that, but it didn't really bother me last time.
They say the ship's so big you rarely feel it.
I mean,
right?
you do feel it sometimes. It was every night. It was kind of soothing. It was rocking you to sleep. And
Absolutely
then
not.
When we got off, I feel my friend and I, when we were waiting for our flight to go home, we were sitting.
So
we ended up going to an airport lounge because we had to sit in the airport for 12 hours.
Fun.
So we paid to go to the lounge, which was worth it 100%. But we were sitting there and we were do you feel you're still rocking on the ship? And I was yeah. So
violently vomiting.
I kind of missed the being rocked to sleep afterwards. So I'm kind of looking forward to it again. That was my favorite thing about it.
Oh my God.
But
yeah,
sometimes if the waves are kind of rough when you're out in the open ocean, you feel it. You do feel it.
I get seasick so easy. I get motion sickness even when I'm driving. I literally puked while driving. It's an equilibrium thing. And I just remember before my 30th birthday when I went to San Francisco, I asked my doctor and he prescribed not seasickness, motion sickness medication. But like an idiot, I didn't read any of the fine print. And I may have taken too many. And literally, of course, I'm the only one not sick when I'm on the ferry. When I fell off the toilet and peed all over myself. Whoops. I didn't feel any motion sickness on the bus. We're going up the teeny tiny, curvy, swirly roads. And I'm this is the tits. This is great. We're going up and down the huge San Francisco streets. I'm this is amazing. And then the third night, we're at a restaurant. And I tried to read the menu and I couldn't. And I was is this it? Am I having a stroke? Tony, I'm coming. So literally I went, whoa, and my friends were what do you mean? And I couldn't even if I had it this close to my eye or far away, I couldn't read it. Everything was blurry. Everybody else around me was fine, but print, I could not read. So I looked it up and they said that it causes blurred vision. And I took too many because I was what if I get sick on the plane? What if I get sick on the ferry? It wasn't out of my system yet. So I overdosed on it. And I remember getting home and I'm I don't know if I can drive. It was that bad. And I was worth it. Didn't puke. But at the same time, can't read anything. And it was definitely something else. But everyone tells me I would love a cruise because I love to drink and eat. And I love a magician. There's usually a magician on a cruise, you know? You should find a magician on a cruise. I feel like that'd be a great time.
Didn't I tell you? I don't know if I told you. Last cruise I was on, we didn't go to any of the big shows because we tried to go to one and I got like way too overstimulated because there were just too many people. And we like couldn't find a good seat. I mean, there was like a magician like one night.
Damn it.
I skipped it. I was like, can we just go sit in the hot tub, please?
I would have left you and gone missing.
So then I was like, I don't want to go to any more of those shows. So
there's like a juggler. I'm like, you fucking suck, Megan.
We went
a
like
hot
to the
tub though was lovely.
Yeah, it was. I mean, it was outside in the cold Alaska like rain, but
oh god,
it was hot.
Yeah.
So
now, do you dock in the Bahamas?
Yeah, in 2 places in the Bahamas.
I love that.
I don't really want to say all of the other places I'm going
because somebody might follow you that's listening to the podcast. They might be a Megan stalker.
Yeah, don't stalk me, guys.
My friend Brandy, and I know she would have no issue with me saying this, I guess she took a gummy before going on a night boat expedition where the bottom of the boat was glass. So you could see like the coral reefs and shit. And she was like, that gummy hit and it hit hard. And I'm like, describe your hell, Stacey. Being high off your ass on a gummy with a like what looks like a bottomless boat.
A clear bottom
like a clear
boat.
bottom boat where you can see the sharks and fucking stingrays, you know, that's killed the crocodile hunter.
Sounds awesome.
And they went to the Bermuda Triangle. And I'm like, no, I'm too woo-woo about that.
Yeah.
I would just disappear.
Yeah,
Everyone
that scares
would still
me.
be in the boat.
Bermuda definitely scares me. The Bermuda Triangle was like a huge thing when we were kids.
We were very worried about that and quicksand.
Yes, quicksand. I thought there was going to be quicksand everywhere I went in the woods.
Like I said, my mother parented with fear. So there's like a condo development like 2 streets over. And it used to be just marshes back in the 90s. And I think my mother was like, my idiot daughter will definitely like go into the marshes and I'll like fall into them like George Bush Sr. When he was duck hunting and like the Secret Service had to pull him out. One of my favorite stories. Almost as good as Bush Jr. choking on the pretzel. But she was like, there's wells and stuff. And I was like, I think there were wells. But then she goes, and there's also quicksand in the marsh. And I was like, oh my God. And I just remember like playing with the neighborhood kids in Alexis. And I'm like, we can't go past that tree line. There's quicksand. And they believed me. So I'm like, yeah, like.
Kids will believe anything. Like,
remember in Crystal Skull, like he's sinking in the quicksand and Shia LaBeouf like throws him a fucking boa constrictor to hold on to?
I don't know if I've ever seen that.
Crystal Skull, everyone shits on it. Everyone shits on it. It's part 4. I haven't seen the 5th one yet, Dial of Destiny. But I saw it in theaters. It was the last movie I ever saw with my mom. She loved it, of course. We both had shit taste in movies.
I think I did watch it with my dad.
Yeah, Shia LaBeouf plays like Mutt, his like love child.
Yeah.
Which
Indiana Jones, which
Shia LaBeouf has been having a great time in New Orleans. #me. Have you read about that?
No. What happened?
Oh, yeah. He like got arrested and some woman bailed him out and he gave her like triple what she paid for the bail. Somebody told him, I guess a bartender was like, he was like, I want to use my credit card. And they're like, we're cash only. And he kept being an asshole about it. And she went, why don't you go back and go dig holes? And he flipped out.
And that's what he got arrested for?
Yes. And I guess like they found his license on Bourbon Street and it's like been expired for 5 years. And I'm like, I can't judge.
Stacey can relate.
I can relate.
Wait, but you also said the crocodile hunter guy, he's the one with the son, right? Like,
yes,
that's
like,
very attractive.
Posing and he was on
Sally.
Dancing with the Stars. He was Sally?
At the Laneway Festival in Australia.
The Sally bit.
Yeah.
See, that's appropriate.
Yeah.
That's appropriate.
I was like, did Stacey see this? Like, the
I
crocodile
love
hunter's
that.
son was Sally.
He's so attractive. I don't watch Dancing with the Stars, but I'm like that. What a man, what a man.
Yeah.
And
I mean,
got an
he's too young
accent,
for
too.
us, but.
How old is he?
I think he's like a baby. I don't know. What's his name?
Is he of age? Look him up.
Let's look it up.
Something Crocodile Hunter. That's not his last name, but
I'm looking up
Crocodile
Hunter son.
Irwin? No, I'm making
Robert
that up.
Irwin. Yeah, Irwin.
Oh, okay. Look at me, guys.
Robert
Not just a pretty
Irwin.
face. Please tell me he's of age or I'm going to feel like a perv.
He was born in 2003. What does that make
Jesus
him?
Christ.
He's only 22. I told you.
I mean,
he's of age, but he's really young.
He's a legal beagle, but like all my references would just fall flat with him.
Yeah.
2003, I was in high school. That's disgusting.
Yeah.
I'm
So,
going to puke.
I said he's a baby. Like,
A baby.
he's cute, but like, we're too old.
You know what made me feel of like my age? So I watched the movie Y2K. It's streaming on HBO. And Rachel showed it to me, and it was really funny. It had an all-star cast, and it takes place on New Year's Eve of 99 going into 2000.
Yeah.
I think you would like it because of all the references, but I'm going to just spoil this for you because it's so funny, and it doesn't matter.
Oh,
But
like
the
you spoiled, I'm going to throw up in your mouth.
We're gonna get to that. So the actor who plays Argyle from season 4 of Stranger Things,
I thought that there was somebody from Stranger Things in that movie because I remember wanting to see it.
Eduardo, he's in it, and he's really funny. But it's a little bit part. But like, there's a scene where they like escape a house. Some horrific shit happens. It's like a horror comedy, and he just sees this knocked over like basketball hoop laying on its side, and he's a skater. He goes, "Hey guys, check out this sick trick," and this music starts playing, and he tries to do the trick, but he just falls and hits his head and dies. And it's so out of nowhere, and I'm like, "Did you really die?" And we're just like, "Yeah." I started pissing myself laughing. I'm like, that's kind of incredible that he just did that bit part, but it just made me feel so old because the whole cast, I guess, was like born in like 2003, 2005, and they're playing people like our age, and I'm like, this is depressing. And I remember you telling me you were nervous about Y2K.
Yeah, when I was 13.
Did you unplug your computer?
I don't remember. I just know I was.
You know she fucking did.
I was anxious about it for like a few years before that.
Damn. But speaking of throwing up in the mouth, you went and saw, I saw it twice. You went and saw Cold Storage. What was Megan's thoughts?
Unfortunately, I guess it didn't stay in the movie theater for very long because I looked up the show times and I was like, oh shit, like if I don't go see it today,
my prediction for it breaking box office records. I guess that's for streaming and DVD sales.
So I was still kind of sick, but I was like, I mean, I can handle going to the movies. And like, I don't think I was still contagious at that point. Like, and there wasn't really anybody in the movie theater anyway.
Girl, I threw up in a movie theater once. You're fine.
So I loved it though. It was like, just like you said, it was just like a great time. Like it was so fun. And like Joe was great, but like it was so colorful and entertaining and like funny. He had great chemistry with the lead female actor, and I cracked. Even though you had told me about the "I want to throw up in your mouth" thing, I let out like this like shriek giggle.
I love you.
And then the one thing, what was it? There was something with a jump scare. There was I think, I don't want to spoil it, but it's like at
the beginning, right?
They're inside the storage unit. And like the guy's outside and like it's like a like slam, and I literally like whole body like jumped in my seat. Like,
it made me jump a couple of times. I agree. I jumped at that part. I guess the guy who played like her baby daddy,
boyfriend,
like that's like an Irish comedian actually, and he was very easy on the eyes, but that quickly changed. But it reminded me of like late stupid like 98, 99 like horror comedy action movies. Like there was a movie once with Cuba Gooding Jr. and Skeet Ulrich, I'm probably butchering his name, guy from Scream, called Chill Factor, where they have to keep this like nuclear thing cool, and Cuba Gooding Jr. is an ice cream man, and I don't know, it's so fucking stupid. But it was like movies like that I remember growing up with. And like this guy, like I said, he wrote the screenplay for Jurassic Park. He's worked on Spider-Man. He's been in the industry for a very long time. And it stayed faithful to the book. I do recommend the book, even if it's audio. It's a fun time. But I just like loved Liam Neeson like doing his regular shtick, you know.
Loved Liam Neeson. I loved just like the science fiction element. Like I love science fiction. Like I thought that was really cool.
Did you love the cockroach POV?
Yeah, that was funny. I
It's right away, I'm like, how did that happen?
I watched it before I
Mhm.
ended up editing our episode from last week. So it was like funny to like watch the movie and then listen to our episode again where you were like telling me about it. Cause I definitely didn't remember everything that you had said when I was like
Yeah.
watching it. But like then once I had seen it and then I listened to our conversation again, I was like, oh yeah, that was funny. But it was like, you said like a banging soundtrack. Like I would listen to that soundtrack like regularly.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Right?
So just
very
overall,
unexpected. Little gem in the theater.
yeah. And I guess it's a bummer like that it didn't. Oh, I think it's going to do better on streaming though. We were talking about
That's
that.
what I think. I think it's going to find its life that way, and a lot of people will discover it. Because all of my showtimes were super late. When I went with Andy, Brandy, and Rachel, we had the theater to ourselves. I of course asked for the fucking poster, and they were like, "We don't do that. We can't give it to the public." I'm like, bastards.
Yeah.
But I did take a bunch of pictures in front of it. That was my Wuthering Heights, like, swooning thing, which I went to the movies a few times. Rachel was visiting. Went to go see the new Dracula movie, which I, like, left for a
You
minute.
loved
was
it,
like,
right?
I loved it. And usually, like, that's been done to death. But it was more of a love story, which I really liked. It wasn't like this horrific, gore horror movie, which typically I love. But this time around, it was more of a love story. And Rosanna Arquette's daughter, Zoe, played the lead in it. She did a really, really good job. At one point, I left and Rich was like, "Are you okay?" And I just went to go buy huge popcorns, but, like, I didn't get drinks. So by the end of the movie, I'm like, why are my lips so chapped? It's because we're mowing down on popcorn. But it was a nice romance. It had an all-star cast, really, really good. And then yesterday, we went to go see, because Brandy was like, you have to check it out. We saw Wuthering Heights. I love that director. She's done Promising Young Women, which I'm going to get you to see eventually, and Saltburn, which we both agree we really like. And without any spoilers, the opening title is in quotation marks because a lot of people are ripping it apart on TikTok, of course, because they're like, it's not faithful to the book. She's kind of saying, no, I get that. This is just my interpretation of it. And I honestly, I haven't read the book, but, people who have read it told me all about it. I was like, actually, it wasn't that bad. There were a few differences, but I liked it. The cast did a really good job. I thought it would have been dirtier. I'm a perv. But visually, the costumes and the sets, every 2 seconds, I'm like, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. And then at the end, without spoilers, I'm crying like a baby. And Rachel's like cracking a stupid joke. And then the lights came up and she looked at me and she went, are you crying? And I'm like, shut up. So it tugs on the heartstrings. I think you would like it. Check it out.
I feel like I'd rather just read the book because I've never read it. And I feel like some of the stuff that I'm reading about the adaptation are just that it's not super culturally sensitive, like the stuff that they did and the things that they changed.
That was my biggest issue with it, because Heathcliff is supposed to be like of gypsy blood.
Yeah.
And you have white boy, pretty boy Jacob Elordi in it. And I thought that was a little messed up, but they had her husband, Linton, I think his name is. He looked of Indian or Egyptian blood, so they kind of switched it, which was different. And also the ending is completely different. It's kind of more hopeful in the book. And I was like, oh, because right away I'm like, Rachel, blah, 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 blah. And then I'm like, oh, they cut that out. Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. So if you do, I know you're a book girly. If you do read the book, report back to me after seeing it, because I've heard mixed things. Some people are like, okay, I get it. It was her interpretation. Other people are like, I hated it because it was too different. So I'm like,
yeah,
huh, interesting.
And just when you make certain decisions, it's what are you trying to say?
Especially
by making
a
that
classic
decision.
novel. And I love Margot Robbie, but I felt like she was a little too old to play this role. And I love her to death. She's younger than us, but I just was like, but the kid actors did a really great job, and Charlie's soundtrack was amazing.
That does sound really good. And I love good music in movies. So yeah, we'll see. And maybe eventually.
Little update, I guess tomorrow, the Faces of Death trailer with Dacre will be coming out.
And that one is the one I said I probably can't watch. It looks way too dark for me.
I even asked Brandy and she was like, no. I think they know already that people like the Faces of Death like videos, they were like kind of like snuff films back in the day, but they were all fake. But they really are not for the faint of heart and stuff. It was before the dark web. And I've watched like one or two of them and they're gross for the sake of being gross. Like I don't want to see somebody be decapitated or somebody eat a monkey brain. Like, that's gross. But I guess it's supposed to be about him and Barbie Friera, who was on Euphoria. And they, like, run either a podcast or a website, and they're trying to debunk videos. So I don't know how extreme it's going to be. I think it's going to be one of those movies I'll go and see and report back to you.
There's also, like, I saw something with Dacre in it. I think it was a trailer. And it's like there's like a woman and some kids. Like, did you see this?
Yeah. I saw that too. I don't.
He
know
doesn't
the
look like
name
a
of
very
it.
good person in that too. Like,
no, it's like the two
I
girls.
feel like he's
their
like kidnapping
mother
them or something.
passes away, and they're playing it off like she's still alive, and he's like the ex-boyfriend.
Yeah. But it looks kind of good.
He recently did some speech, I guess, some Australian version of the Baptist. And he was like, not for anything. Like, I worked at Mickey's, which I guess is McDonald's, for 5 years. I just, kind of kept at it, did a lot of theater and stuff. So it's really interesting to see the roles that he's picking because he is extremely method and extremely talented.
Yeah, for sure.
Too bad we couldn't meet him.
I know.
I wanted to ask him about the doorknobs.
Speaking of things that look a little bit too dark for me to watch, this new project on Netflix that the Duffer Brothers are like involved with, like
something bad is going to happen. I think that's what's
called. Did you watch the trailer?
I did. It's got a good cast. I think it's got the actress from Marmalade in it, and it's got Jennifer Jason Leigh. But right away you were like, oh no, and I'm like,
the trailer terrified me. It just, the sense of like impending doom, like I feel like the trailer did like a really good job. And it's like about like somebody getting married, and like that is like
that's terrifying by itself.
It can be for sure.
Yeah.
So like I don't know what about it. Like I was like, I don't know if I can handle that. So that's, again, something you're going to have to, like, report back, because
I'll report back.
Maybe the trailer just did a really good job of, like, portraying that, like, sense of impending doom, like something bad is going to happen. But, like, I was like,
dead
nope,
I am inside.
Nope.
I'm like, it doesn't look bad. I made poor Rachel. We were like just trying to find anything to watch. We caught up on The Pit, which was great.
Oh my gosh, intense. Because
are you caught up?
Yes, like, so without, like, I feel like it's not, I don't want to say it because it's kind of like a spoiler, but
well, if you haven't caught up yet, snooze you lose.
Yeah, like skip ahead like 30 seconds if you really don't want to know. But like the thing that's about to happen,
the cyber attack.
Yeah.
Girl.
So that happened to like my school system
while
we were working.
Somebody wanted a permanent record erased.
It was while we were all still working at home after COVID, like that Thanksgiving, like 2020. That's was
scary.
Huge ransomware attack on like the whole system for my like school county that I work in, and like everything got like lost. Like there's still things that like 6 years
like, don't
later,
worry, your social security's safe. No, it wasn't.
Yeah, like, because I don't know if they paid the ransom or like, I don't know what happened, but it was like, I don't think they did. They just basically had to like rebuild all of the systems that like went down with the ransomware.
Have you ever seen Hackers with Angelina Jolie?
I don't know.
It's very 90s. Maybe that'll be a movie night. It's her and her first husband, Johnny Lee Miller, who is a fucking dreamboat.
Like, I remember it. I don't know if I ever watched it.
It's very 90s, but it's about these people that can do this kind of shit, and it's so scary. And with medical stuff, that's just like everything is so on the computer. Like, I'm so glad that guy got the photo of the chart before everything went down. But right away, I'm like, heart palpitations. Like, yeah. Oh, but my Lanta.
I've talked about how I really like Dr. Langdon, and like I've been following him on Instagram, the actor Patrick Ball, and he did an interview with Esquire about here, I'm going to read this quote. So Patrick Ball's performance on The Pit isn't just a portrait of early recovery rarely seen on TV. It's also an issue that's highly personal to him. And then it quotes, "I'm coming up on 4 years sober," Ball says.
Oh, God bless him.
"I got a lot of people that are very, very close to me that have struggled with addiction, some of which have gotten help, some of which haven't. And telling the story of addiction, it's my responsibility to put it out there for all of its pockmarks. I got a lot of people thanking me and telling me how this affects their lives and the lives of who they love." And then it says he pauses, smiles, and, a bunch of people reaching out and telling me that I'm a huge piece of shit. But I think he's doing a fantastic job with this storyline, and just to know that is an issue that's like personal to him too was kind of like,
and the fact that he got back at it, his character, he's trying to make amends, and just that really uncomfortable situation with him and Noah Wiley when the helicopter landed, like my stomach was in my ass. I was like, oh my God. But when a certain character passes away, and then you find out about the wife and stuff. Literally, guys, it's been an emotional week.
I know.
I'm sitting on the couch sobbing, and I'm like, and it's just like, I know, it really shows the nitty gritty, because we're used to watching, like, ER was pretty graphic, but it was on NBC. This, I like that it's no holds bar. It's not like Grey's Anatomy, where, yes, you do see some brutal stuff, but there's still like love romances and blah, blah, blah. This is just the nitty gritty of the hospital world, and you do sometimes wait for hours and hours and hours, and they're trying their best. So the effects team is amazing, and the cast is amazing. I'm glad they're sweeping all the awards, which is amazing.
It's definitely well deserved.
But I'm glad I caught up with that. But then I was like, we need to watch something a little more mellow. So we're like surfing on Peacock. And I go, what's Sing Song Blue? And Rachel's like, oh, it was based on a true story about a Neil Diamond impersonator. And that's Hugh Jackman. And what's Goldie Hawn's daughter? What's her name? The one from
Kate Hudson.
Kate Hudson.
Yeah.
And
look at me.
They're in it, and it was. I love you. It was very cute. It had a great soundtrack, obviously, but they were from Minnesota, so like I just kept mimicking the Minnesota accent, and it still made me cry. I was like, God damn it! So, that's all I have to say. But
I also watched This Is Spinal Tap.
Please tell me your thoughts on one of my all-time favorite comedies. Rest in peace, Rob Reiner.
Oh my God, it was so funny. Like, I mean, I was already sold on like just the whole aging rock band touring and like trying to like sell shows and having them canceled, and just like that whole like vibe.
Boston canceled. Don't worry, it's not much of a college town.
Yeah, and I loved that Rob Reiner played like the guy who was like making the documentary, like, and just the thing that first got me, like, I feel like I noticed what you said about how they try to like see if he'll break. Because what's his name again?
Christopher Guest.
So he's sitting there and he's got like this plate of like sandwich meat in front of him.
The oranges.
And like
and the Oreos.
The bread is too small for
he's trying to fold it.
And he's like, and you can
it's no big deal.
But he's like, but then it just hangs over the side. And like you can tell he's like at one point
trying to keep it together.
He sort of laughs. But then he like plays it off like he's laughing at himself and saying like, oh, it's fine. It's no big deal.
It's no big deal, really.
I
love that you noticed that.
I was dying at that part, and it was I thought of you saying like that it's funny to see him almost break because he kind of did
visiting Elvis's grave kind of hits a little too close. Yeah, no shit, it hits a little too close.
And then he's like showing all of his guitars, and he's like, "No, don't touch
these
that."
These go to 11. Yeah, I wasn't going to touch it. Don't even look at it.
Yeah,
them getting lost
them going
backstage.
To 11 was hilarious.
I
texted you about them getting lost backstage. I think I was giving you like live updates while I was watching.
So good, and I always used to quote with my friend Mike, "Why are we going to an Air Force base? Because that's where the gig's at." And like, I'm sorry, I do not blame Jamie Lee Curtis, because I guess she was with producer Deborah Hill, who produced a lot of the Halloween movies. It was her best friend. They were looking through Rolling Stone issues back in like 1984, and she saw on the cover was Christopher Guest and his two co-stars, and she went, "Who is that?" And she went, "Oh, I actually just recently produced a movie with him in it. I'll try to arrange you guys to meet." She was like, "I'm going to marry that man. That man's my husband." And Christopher Guest is the complete polar opposite of who he plays of Niall. And I guess, like, he ended up not calling her back or something, and it fell through, and a year passed. And I guess they saw each other. They were both on dates at a restaurant. He kind of, like, shrugged and, like, looked at her, and they ended up talking afterwards, probably blowing off their dates, and they exchanged numbers, and they've been married since.
I
so
love that
it's just
so much. That's
it's so
cute.
funny. He's a comic genius, but This Is Spinal Tap is so good, and like the soundtrack isn't bad.
Yeah, like the songs, like the lyrics are kind of cheesy, but
Yeah.
like the music is good. Oh, and the guy like getting stuck inside that cocoon thing.
How much did you
Bring out,
love
like,
the?
a blowtorch or something? Like,
How much did you love the Stonehenge moment?
oh my gosh.
Fuck the napkin. Their faces, and then the dwarfs,
And
like
then the
almost
dwarfs.
knocking them over.
Oh my god.
For now on, when
I'm
I'm
just-
pitching bad ideas, I'm going to say Jazz Odyssey to you, and that's when you know, like, no, absolutely not.
Yeah. So it was.
What was the other movie
it
you
was
saw?
really
You
funny.
saw
I also
Spinal
watched
Tap?
The Burbs.
What were your thoughts?
I've been wanting to watch that ever since we did that summer movie episode, and you
The
told me
trash.
about it.
Yeah.
Tom Hanks, I think that's my favorite role I've ever watched him play.
Take me to the hospital.
He's just so dramatic, but it's so like relatable. Like I feel like I like completely related with him, like the whole
100%.
movie.
He was crash outs before crash outs.
Yeah, so many crash outs, so valid because like I would crash out about that for sure.
Yeah.
But even just the little things at the beginning where he's just like in his bathrobe, like walking around the house, and oh, Carrie Fisher was amazing. But
Love her.
in the end, when she comes back early and he just keeps complimenting her haircut.
Really like your hair. And I love that they're literally listing off what they're charging him with. And then they're like, oh, you left a ransom note saying that you had the neighbor's dog. So
I
you kidnapped the dog.
I knew that was going to come back. When he wrote that note and put it through the mail slot,
I
was
have
like,
your dog.
that's going to be construed as a ransom note. I called that from like the very beginning.
Did you like him eating the sardines and pretzel?
Oh my God. That was so funny.
Packing
But like,
dust.
I think throwing himself in the ambulance at the end might be like one of my favorite things I've ever watched on a movie.
Literally,
like-
Stacey, at the end of this year,
Take
I'm
me
like,
to the hospital.
take me to the hospital. Him literally falling down the porch steps, like, and everything's on fire. But I hope you noticed just the garbage and everyone just
They just
driving
keep driving
over it.
over it. Because the scene where they like jump into the garbage truck too, so funny. Like,
Oh my God.
and then the banter with the garbage truck drivers, like, and they're
Yep.
like, I just hate people who live on cul-de-sacs.
Sex. Good girl. You've
But
been
what's
doing
the
your homework.
the teenager that was in
Corey
it?
Feldman.
Yeah, he was so good.
Him opening up the kitchen door and it breaking the plate. And John Hanks is like, that's it. We need to leave.
And he's just like getting the most entertainment out of all of it. Like,
Him jumping on the
Inviting-
cop car going,
Oh.
we got the pizza dude coming.
yeah, and inviting the pizza dude over, but that pizza van was yellow, like the Surfer Boy pizza van.
Dude, I never noticed that. And then
Yeah.
literally it crashing and all the pizzas fall out.
Yeah.
Pizza dude.
And then they're just eating the pizza. It was
So good.
so good.
You
Like,
definitely need to check out now the TV show with Keke Palmer. It's a revamp of it, but they pay such beautiful tribute. There's a lot of cameos and Easter eggs, and every episode, I think there's 8 episodes, is named after famous lines from the movie. I think you'll enjoy it.
yeah. Is it all out or is it like still releasing?
It's all out.
Okay.
All out.
Yeah, I'll check it out. Because it's
Awesome.
on Peacock, I think, right?
It's on Peacock.
and that's what
it's
I
just-
watched the
it's really
movie
good.
on too, which was
I love that they put the movie on Peacock because
Yeah.
I feel like a new generation needs to discover this movie.
Yeah, and it wasn't
It's so
streaming
good.
anywhere because that's why I hadn't watched it for a long time because I had looked for it when we did the summer movie episode, and it wasn't streaming
Satan is
anywhere.
good. Satan is our pal.
So funny! Oh my gosh, I was dying. Both of those movies were really good. So
You make
it
me
was
proud. You
an
make me proud.
entertaining week.
So, my friend, we have decided, where eventually going to be doing our deep dives of season 5.
What's the
and
hashtag that we're not using?
We're not going to use the hashtag fuck5 because as we know, the more it's marinated, I'm just getting angrier and angrier, and we don't want to be like that. So we are doing 2 separate episodes. This episode is going to be, what are 5 things we would have changed with season 5? Just our general thoughts.
Yeah.
We're no Duffer Brothers. No matter what, there is love. And we are going to express that love in a future episode, which are, what are 5 things we really loved about season 5?
So today is 5 things that we would fix. And next time is 5 favorites. So
5 favorites. We're going to be fair. And remember that this is all about opinion. This is my personal opinion, Megan's personal opinion. You may agree, you may disagree. It doesn't mean that we hate the show, that we hate the season. These are just things that us personally we would fix. No hate, no hashtag fuck5, just our opinions.
Yeah. And also, like, I was trying to not pick things that, like, were really too out there and that, like, were, I don't know, fan fiction. Like, I didn't want, like, you know, Steve Harrington to, like, get with Eddie Munson. Like, I mean,
I just grasp my pearls.
I get it. There's enough fan fiction about that.
Exactly.
You know?
We have plenty of that to satisfy the palate. We're mostly just looking as if we were the Duffer Brothers and we were brilliant writers and creators and we had this amazing team behind us. What would we have changed realistically for the masses?
And also, this was just sort of like top of my head. Like, I didn't really put too much thought into it. It was like just gut reaction based on, like, a couple months have gone by since I've seen it. I haven't watched it again yet, like, since, like, the first time I watched it. So
I have, but I've been doing other things. But this should have just been a fucking, you know, should have been a prediction of how this year was going to go for Stacey. But I'm all love. You know, and I was just like, this would be interesting because instead of going back to, like, rewatch them, we're saving that for the deep dive. This is just from memory on the top of our heads. And we hope you enjoy.
Yes. So, do you want to start? Let's go back and forth
into it.
With our 5.
Okay. This is my 5th idea. So we're going backwards.
Same.
I would have done more of the radio station. I would not have had the shit hit the fan so quickly. I would have, and it has something to do with another thing I would fix, but that goes down further down the line. I would have shown Robin and Steve working at the radio station at least for a full day without, like, you know, anything huge happening. I would show that maybe they do, like, you know, relay messages, secret messages while playing records. That I thought was very clever. But, you know, we had a ton of scoops, you know, even when Dustin came in with, you know, saying hi to Steve and he had the Russian code, we were able to see them actually work at Scoops for a few days, even while dealing with this stuff with Steve in the back, trying to translate, and then Robin eventually taking over, them recruiting Erica. It was really cool to see them. Family Video, we kind of only got to see them work a full morning, and I really did like Max and Dustin coming in, using the conveniently 3 separate phones and their computer to find for Rick and make the calls. But we're able to see, you know, Steve just, you know, hit and miss with that customer.
Yeah.
But we were able to see them work. I would have loved to see, and I'm like, I feel like it would have been so cool to see more of the soundtrack be featured that way. Steve being her sound man, her being kind of like the you know, DJ. I feel like we could have seen more of the squawk. Yes, we got the van and did get the location. I know any vinyl collector cringed when Robin held those records and slid them against each other the way she did. That did not need to be explained. We had a lot of scenes, even in that little underground bunker kind of like room that they had with the projector. We had a lot of scenes of them explaining stuff, which I felt was very unnecessary. I felt like we could have gotten more of Robin, maybe playing more codes and finding out more stuff. Maybe they've hacked in using Cerebro to what the military's doing, and we could have seen them maybe, you know, working a late night when something happens and one of them comes. I feel like we could have seen more of the squawk.
Yeah, completely agree. I think that, like, it escalated so quickly, and all of the other seasons we kind of got a little bit more time to settle in and reconnect with the characters. Like, and there wasn't like the radio station vibes were cool, but we just didn't get enough of like them just living their sort of normal life, like whatever normal they can have in this like post-apocalyptic type situation. So totally agree with you there. It's a good one.
Cool. What's your fifth?
Okay, so number 5 for me is that we needed to not bring back the love triangle between Nancy,
thank God you said that.
Steve, and Jonathan.
Unnecessary.
It was so unnecessary. It was so out of character from all of them. Like, it did ruin a lot of their character development. Like, and we talked about like how we kind of talked about, I think, when we were talking about the episodes, like initial reactions, how we understand a little bit of like justifying it with like the time jump, but I just think that like they would have figured this out by then. It wouldn't have been a year and a half of this like tension building. Like,
I rewatched a lot of season 4 while Andy, Brady, and Rachel were visiting, and me and Rachel were just talking about, like you said, how they undid so much character development. I liked that Jonathan had second thoughts about applying to Emerson, that he was hiding this big secret, that yes, he kind of wished she had come up with Mike to visit, and there's kind of a reason why he didn't go to visit. And he's at this crossroads and he's venting to his only friend, Argyle, about it. And he's like, I don't want to live somebody else's dream because I kind of saw like how my parents turned out. I don't want there to be resentment. And there was kind of like this lingering tension. And I was like, good for you, Jonathan. You want to go to NYU. You want to stay close to your family because of all your trauma. Meanwhile, I'm looking at Nancy and her Emerson chart and I'm like, there's no way. Like, even with her dropping out, to each its own. But I was like, there's no way. And, you know, yes, she had puppy dog eyes for Steve, but it showed the realistic ways of a long distance relationship, especially back in 1986. And then with Steve, he realized that he didn't need to find his Susie, that, you know, he didn't need Nancy, that, you know, yes, you know, we all cringe about the whole, like, you know, I wish we had, you know, I got that bump on my head and the 6 nugget dream. That was cringy. But at the same time, he had kind of come into his own that he didn't need Nancy, that he recovered from that trauma of her calling him bullshit, that he didn't need to be involved. And I don't know, like you said, it just, after 18 months, we're still doing this?
Yeah. And I think I don't mind that Nancy and Jonathan broke up.
Nope.
That scene is probably going to be on our next episode of some of my favorite parts about the season because I thought it was really good. I don't necessarily think that there needed to be an engagement ring involved, but I like support them breaking up, but I don't think that they needed to bring Steve into it. Like, it was like almost like cheapened like his role, like as just putting him as this like catalyst for their breakup and something for like Jonathan.
Using him almost as an excuse. And like you said, right after they got out of the room, she was back to kind of being flirty with him. Yeah. And he was insisting, no, I just think of her as a friend. But then they had that kind of makeup scene with him and Jonathan in Dimension X. It was just really piss poor writing for 3 really good characters.
Yeah. I think they could have done better with that. So that was my 5th one. What's your next one?
So my next one is, it doesn't take place 18 months later. That is lazy.
Too long.
Writing.
Too long.
I feel like it could have been a month later. And I don't think the military should have quarantined the fucking place like they did. Yes, it's kind of realistic because the Upside Down is breaking through, you know, but it just like the military had their Big Mac, you know, area in downtown. Suddenly they can send in helicopters and these big vehicles and they have a base in the Upside Down. And yet they're not telling anybody what's going on. I'm like, is that why Nancy didn't go to Emerson? Like, who's trapped here? Murray apparently is the only truck driver. driver able to come and go. Suddenly this like, nostalgic of this small town just kind of felt like shit. I felt like the military, their presence should have been lessened. I don't think it should have been as big. I think it should have been the aftermath of this natural disaster that they have the National Guard, wink, wink, coming in, trying to figure out, maybe the holes now are just like, maybe 11 like closed the gates or something, and they're just like huge, massive craters and stuff, and the library's destroyed.
There would be more mystery to it.
Yeah, and a lot of people have evacuated, but these are the people still trying to rebuild Hawkins. It's only a month later. I feel like school should not have been in session. It should have still been a shelter for people who lost everything. I think it should have just been a few weeks later. And I feel like there would have been Jonathan maybe having to tell Nancy, I didn't apply for Emerson, no engagement ring, and him maybe being like, we need to talk. There should have been, Dustin's maybe still recovering from his ankle injury, and he's really not doing well about the loss of Eddie. And they're still talking about the Munson murders and how people are afraid he's still out there and stuff. And maybe, the surviving basketball members are, still fucking, spray painting devil worshiper. We should have gotten Uncle Wayne in there too,
Yeah.
How he's staying at the shelter and stuff. And maybe we could show a scene of Dustin and him going to the ruined remains of the trailer. Steve and Robin suddenly, she's like, yeah, Fast Hands Jimmy or whatever his name was, literally, I'm a friend for a friend, recommended this. I feel like she shouldn't have been in an established relationship with Vicky. It should have been kind of this cute flirtation. Keep her as a candy striper, and maybe she's not filled in on what's going on. We should have seen Max's mom, and it should have been, this is new. She's freshly in a coma. And I feel like the 18 months later, it was very half-assed writing. And it was like, okay, we're going to fill you in with the shitty voiceover. No offense to Maya. This was just poor writing. They put fucking steel plates, and the military's everywhere. And, you have to go in and get checked for, breathing in all this shit, which apparently isn't toxic. And nobody can come and go. Like, the Wheelers, seemed pretty normal, honestly. The kids at school, at Holly's school, seemed pretty good. You're under fucking quarantine, and they weren't acting like it. I just felt like the military presence was too little and too much. It just really took away from this small town. I miss them riding their bikes and using the radio and stuff. I just felt like it was too much, and then it disappeared too fast. So I felt like the timeline, the 18 months later, was bullshit. And then when they skipped ahead again, yes, I get it. They had to do it for the graduation, but it was lazy writing.
Yeah. I definitely think it was too much time, too. I see the time jump for the graduation. I think we love the epilogue. We're
fans of it. Yep.
Yeah. So they could have done that even with the starting sooner. But agree there. So my next one sort of relates to your first one, but I think just Steve and Robin needed more time together in general.
100%.
You got a little bit at the radio station, and like you said, we could have seen more of them at the radio station, but also they could have been teamed up together at some other point during the show. I
got why Robin connected with Will, because clearly it's the 80s. They're going through something really big, but it seemed a little forced, to be completely honest. And they took away one of the best friendships, and it made sense that Dustin was going through it with him and Steve. That made sense. That had to go through its process. But with Steve and Robin, we got a little bit of banter in the beginning. It would have been interesting to see, maybe, Robin knows that Steve's parents aren't back. Maybe after all the earthquake shit, they're not back. So he's staying in his big house alone. And maybe he's teaching her how to drive during all this craziness, because now she conveniently knows how to drive. And we should have had some heartfelt moments of maybe her talking to him, being about Vicky, or maybe what she suspects, about Will, and maybe her just being I can't wait, if we do survive, I want to get out of this town, and him maybe almost being you're leaving, Yeah. I think they missed an opportunity with one of the best friendships in the entire show.
Yeah, 100%. So I just wanted to see more of them together.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I know.
In any way possible.
Yeah.
So.
What the I loved them flipping off Murray and Hopper, and her being you smell at the end, but I was we barely got any of them together.
Yeah.
And then like
that
just the
weirdly
epilogue,
weird, like inappropriate joke. Like that was like,
girl.
like
I'm like, everyone's gonna think Robin, like, you know, from experience.
exactly.
Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. It just, the writing and the dialogue, like, it was bad. You know, that's a big thing. This doesn't count as one of my 5, but the dialogue, it just did not seem like Stranger Things. It was like too snappy and too clever and too witty, and everybody had a pun. And, you know, first it went from them all at each other's throats to all these like inappropriate jokes to, it was painful. The writing, it just did not seem the same.
Yeah.
All right. So my next, Nancy and Jonathan should have died in the slime room. I know they are beloved characters, and I would have hate to see them go because I think more about their siblings and their parents. But I feel like it would have been the perfect arc, you know, that just a series of unfortunate events, her shooting at the, you know, the exotic matter, which, I don't know, that's new now. We're introduced to this weird, bizarre thing, and I think it would have been so poetic that they're in the room, it's filling with slime. Steve and Dustin cannot get to them, and they finally accept their fate. There would have been no engagement ring, but it would have been them coming to terms that they care about each other, but not in that way anymore, and that they're going to do this really this really emotional scene showing that they know that, you know, they loved each other during that space of time, but they're not good for each other, but they're accepting their fate that they are going to die together. And I think it would have torn our hearts out if you see them like press their foreheads against each other, and then sometime later Eddie and Steve break through the wall and you see literally like half of Nancy's hand or something literally out of the goo, and we get to see Dustin, because he had a connection with Nancy, of course, and Steve's reaction to losing these two, you know?
Yeah.
I think it would have been heart-wrenching. No offense, but I think Natalia and Charlie would have fucking killed that scene.
Have you seen this art?
Oh my God, that's gorgeous.
It's Jonathan and Nancy in like the slime, but it's set to the music the Smiths. There's a light that never goes out, and it's to die by your side is such a heavenly way to die. Like, it's gorgeous.
All in the feels. It's gorgeous.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it would have been really poetic and just, you know, heartbreaking. Like, you know, I'm glad we didn't have a high body count because we don't need, it's unnecessary. It really is. This wasn't Game of Thrones. We'd already lost so many beloved characters. But I think those two, that would have been such a heartbreaking. And plus, like, Nancy is like the badass that conveniently knows how to use all the weapons. They've lost one of their strongest fighters. And now Joyce is just crippled with just the pain that she's lost her other son and the guilt of being like, was I paying too much attention to Will? You know?
Yeah.
It's just, and them having to break the news to everybody that they didn't make it.
Yeah.
And like, you see Joyce like grab the axe and she's like, let's fucking go. You know, it would have been good. So.
Yeah. I this isn't one of mine, but I was like shocked that both of the Wheeler parents survived. Like,
Girl.
I mean, I'm fine with it. You know, I was always a Ted Wheeler apologist, but like, that was just shocking that like.
I'm like, the bats kill Eddie, but Karen Wheeler, like, and I love Karen, and I love the whole dryer scene. That was badass, you know? I love she had her moment to finally shine as a mother, like a fierce mother protector, but Ted too. Like, I don't know. I felt like they were just so scared of pissing fans off, and I don't know, man. It was a kick in the gut.
Yeah, for sure. Okay.
What's
Ready
yours?
for my next one?
Yes.
So I do not think that they needed to bring back Callie.
Yeah.
Or
I felt like they just
they
did
could
that
have
to
done
tie
it
it up.
better. Like,
Uh-huh.
I don't really know exactly. I'm not a writer. Like, this is our like fantasy like world or whatever,
Yeah.
where we're brilliant writers. But like,
Hey.
I just don't think. I think if they were gonna bring her back, I think that they could have done it better. Like, she just seemed sort of didn't really
was
have
such
much
a
of a
tack
purpose. Yeah.
Yeah.
And like, it was almost as if her only purpose was to sort of show that potential illusion at the end.
And a lot of people, I do love that a lot of people like kind of, because I know nothing against the actress. She's fantastic. A lot of people hated that character. And then after like that kind of possible, you know, fantasy ending, a lot of people are like, we owe this character an apology. I loved that for her, but I felt like they could have literally shown like Linda Hamilton being like, well, you're the last one, 11. And there's a flashback of literally them mowing down all of them, including 8. Or she goes into the lab and she finds her body.
Yeah.
That would have been fucking heartbreaking.
Yeah. Well, and then, like, because if they were going to bring her back, I feel like she didn't do any, like, illusion stuff. Like, she could have, like, been doing more illusion stuff to help fight. Like,
thank you.
I don't know. Like, she didn't do any illusion stuff until maybe she did it at the end. Like, and that was her
she's
big
like, 11,
power.
You need to die. Like,
and it was like they were using her juice or whatever for whatever, like, juice or blood to, like, make these pregnant ladies. But I thought that they should have been, like, controlling her to make her sort of be portraying some sort of mass illusion for, like, the people of Hawkins.
To try to trap them or something.
Yeah. Like, I felt like they should have been, like, not just using her blood to try to do this, but, like, they should have been, like, manipulating her power in some way and, like,
and
forcing her to create
bullshit.
an illusion.
She came from Henry's blood. Same blood. Somehow her blood wasn't working.
Why isn't hers going to work?
Why?
Yeah,
Why?
That doesn't make any sense. It was just for the story.
And then if I had gotten 15 more feet, I'm like, how'd you know it was 15 feet? Like, it would have been great if literally Al thought she had found Vecna or something, and look what happened. It was a trap, and she's literally, like, held at gunpoint. They have her, like, strapped up, and literally it's Dr. K being like, you know, I knew you would eventually come and fall for this trap. Look, your own sister said it. And then she, like, blows out its brains. I don't know. I just felt like her one purpose was that little illusion thing, and it just fell flat. And I think it was like the Duffers being like, no, we need to tie that up. I'm like, you left a lot of fucking plot holes, guys.
Right.
Out of all plot holes,
that one is the one we need to tie
up. It would have been
up.
poetic if literally Little 11 season 2 was like, no, I'm going back to my home, and you just find out 8 kept going off with her motley crew. She didn't need an ending, and it was just unnecessary. So I 100% agree with you.
Yeah, for sure. What's your next one?
Okay. I felt that this is kind of almost like a double one, but I felt like we should have gotten Owens. He should have shown up at the end with the real fucking military or the real scientist. Like, it would have made sense that literally suddenly, much like season 3, like, we didn't need, like, maybe that actor Paul Reiser was unavailable.
Yeah,
but
this was my next one too. Was Owens.
See, it should have been, because I loved that with season 3 when you're like, where the fuck are these people? They show up 1 minute too late, of course, you know, the backup, and just his cameo had no words. And we talked about how chilling it was, how bothered he looked seeing the sealed gate, knowing what had happened. And it literally could have tied up 11's ending better, you know, clean that up better. And, you know, or it could have been like, you know, Dr. K and this military and stuff. Right away, you see them all getting cuffs slapped on them and stuff after the Upside Down vanishes.
Yeah.
And you see all these soldiers come in and stuff. And it's like, well, it would explain why the entire team was able to get off scot-free. Or it would have been really nice and emotional if they did the waterfalls ending and you see maybe Owens in the background and maybe he's like in hiking gear and stuff, and you find out maybe he had pulled strings and she had found him and he was able to keep her safe.
Oh,
we should have gotten an Owens cameo.
I just wanted Owens in any way, but I also wanted to know what Peter's school projects were.
I love you. # who is Peter? And I feel like we could have also upped the whole thing of Mike being the storyteller. I loved all the memes being like, this is a Stephen King origin story. I think it would have been really cool if it showed him in college. Maybe he's publishing like short stories in the school paper and stuff, or he's written his first transcript and it's like kind of like vaguely based off what had happened, but he's doing what he did in season 1. You know, there's the princess and the wildflowers and stuff and the night. Yeah. It would have been really cool to see him like carry that on as the writer. That would have been cool.
Is that your last one?
No, that was like my
double one. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. That was like your honorable mention. Okay. Yeah. And I mean, so mine, my fourth one was just wanting Owens, like some having him
still
back
cuffed to the
some
pipe
way, like, because I think that whatever they did with him could have been cool, and that I just love Paul Reiser and like his role in the show. And so I feel like just not having him back when they didn't really show that he died or anything was just a loose end. Like,
yeah.
And a fucking helicopter going to his house and getting school project from some child named Peter that lived in his house with his wife. Like, why did we need that in season 4 if we weren't going to get an explanation?
Like, we could have gotten a scene of him maybe talking to, like, Hopper. Maybe you see him midway through, and he's like, I'm trying my best, man. These people are powerful. I'm trying to get the government to believe me and stuff. You do realize Ella's not going to be safe. We have a fall. They keep talking about, like, maybe, plan B or a fallback method, And he could maybe mention, like, me and my wife were unable to have a baby. We adopted through the government Peter, and then when Peter died.
Okay, so maybe, this spinoff that they're gonna do with young Henry.
Maybe we'll see that.
Maybe that'll be it. Maybe it'll be him living with Owens and he's going by a code name Peter, and it's sort of like when
and then maybe Owens and his wife realize he's too dangerous, he's too much of a threat, has to give him to Brenner, and it was something that always haunted him, you know? That would have really explained a lot,
Right. If they do that, I'll forgive them, but if they don't,
they're not. Yeah. And, this is another honorable mention, the way they handled Max's storyline, she did the best she could, and so did Caleb. Sadie and Caleb rocked the house.
Beautiful performances, for sure.
It was such a beautiful setup with season 4, and then it was a little half-assed, like we said, with season 5. It would have been interesting if Vecna was keeping her hostage somewhere, in her mind, because there was a leak that said that she was going to be trapped in the church. We don't even necessarily need a Billy cameo, but it would have been really interesting if that was Lucas's thing, that he's like, you guys deal with the crawl. I talked about this with Brandy and Rachel. He's like, you guys deal with the crawl. Maybe him and one other member of the team, they're doing everything they can to research to try to get Max out of the coma. That would have been great. Mm-hmm. But instead, the adventures of going through memories, I don't know. It was cool, but
Yeah.
All right.
All right, what's your last one? I'm ready. I think it might be the same as mine. We'll see.
Yeah. So we all know that everybody, the internet, the world was so nervous about Steve Harrington dying, okay? And I'm glad he got his happy ending. I love that he stayed in Hawkins. That was great. Mind you, I did hate the teens epilogue scene on the roof. It was just really forced and awkward and weird. I love that he became a coach and a sex ed teacher. I loved his final scene with Dustin in the little RV, but I don't know. I think they could have handled his ending a little bit better, but I think on the radio tower, what could have happened was there's a course, Dimension X is coming down. We're doing all the cutbacks to, Sadie, Millie, and the other one, try to go through that weird ass play. There's the drum beat. Tension's rising. Next thing you know, the pipe falls. He should have pushed either Robin or Dustin out of the way. He fucking falls. Okay? We literally see him falling, maybe even cut to black. And then suddenly it cuts back to Robin, Dustin, the whole crew. Steve just fucking fell and died. They're fucking, literally Dustin just starts screaming. He has to be held back because it looks like he's going to jump. Robin's sobbing. Then you hear... Now,
the sound of wings.
The sound of wings. Mind you, I would have loved the reveal of who's behind the door and who keeps taking blood.
Yeah.
You would have seen Eddie / Cass. That's what we all thought it was going to be. And what a boner killer.
And then
that would have
we
been
also
a great reveal.
Thought it was going to be him when Holly finds
Holly.
Max in the woods.
Besides fun fan edits, I do hate AI, but somebody did do AI of it being him instead. We all would have lost our goddamn minds. That would have been the cliffhanger to end all cliffhangers. I think a big reason why season 5 just felt kind of off was you had this iconic character. Yes, full circle. He died. He had to be the patsy. But I think it would have been so fucking epic if you see literally Eddie fucking Munson looking so metal and rock and roll. And he has saved Steve. And he grabs him by the collar. And Steve is just like, and literally he goes, don't worry, big boy. I got you. And it would have been such an epic moment. And what if suddenly at the end, like Eddie goes, no, I need to stay behind. I need to do this. And he either sacrifices himself, like fighting that huge fucking mind flare thing, and he like tells, Dustin, like, you don't have to be angry anymore. I made my choice. He doesn't make it out because clearly a half vampire man can't, or he stays behind with Elle, and we see him at the waterfalls and his wings are conveniently hidden behind a backpack. I think in some way, we could have gotten Eddie. Yes, it would have been written better. I mean, all our fan fiction fantasies is him saving Steve, but I think it would have made more sense if he was the one behind the door being experimented on. Because there's really no closure with that character. And I don't know, it's just for such an iconic character. And I'm sorry, Joseph Quinn was fucking teasing us for months. And years. Literally. Like, I think you might be right. What the fuck? But I feel like he should have come back in some capacity.
Yeah,
what do you think?
That was mine too. That they just could have brought him back in some way. Like, and I think that maybe people are like, well, he was just too busy. Like, but I mean, he could have. He could have shot for a weekend.
Like, I thought for sure Vecna or something was going to happen where he was going to be a vision, and that's why Dustin was freaking out. I don't know. Like you said, in some capacity,
and even
they could have used him.
Like, I would have been cool with just to see. They continued to like use the Hellfire,
which I didn't like,
and like without actually. And then they also had all of those sort of like, who's it going to be surprise moments where that they're thinking, that everybody is thinking, could this be Eddie? And that's just like a tease.
And I feel like that's wrong to do to the fans. Like, I do get it. If the actor was unavailable, I get it. But I just felt like that was kind of disrespectful to the fans. Yes, we got a perfect tribute to the graduation scene and Dustin, great doing his speech and flipping off Principal Higgins and the Hellfire Libs. It was badass. But I don't know. I just felt like Eddie deserved more. And also, it was a behind-the-scene leak, of course. On the memorial of the earthquake survivors, Eddie's name is on it. So apparently his name got cleared, but we never saw that. It was heartbreaking for such a beloved character, we didn't get the closure we needed. And I think that was a big puzzle of why season 5 felt off.
Yeah, I agree too, because it was like, I mean, yes, Eddie wasn't the most important character in the show, but I think for a lot of people, he was what made the show, like, for me, that character was kind of
what drew you
very like influential in me becoming a super fan of the show. Like, I liked the show, but like that character is what like took it to that next level. And I think that was the same for a lot of people. And like, to just like tease it for years and then not do anything just made it fall kind of flat for me.
I agree.
I still appreciate it, and like,
they did what they could, and I can't wait to do the episode where we talk about what worked for us. And we do admire the cast and crew and the actors and everything. They gave it their all. But we've been fans for quite a while. I've been a fan since the beginning. You've been a fan, like you said. Like, I became a super fan with season 3, but season 4 is what rocket launched it.
Right.
Same with
I've been a fan since the beginning too. I've enjoyed the show since the beginning, but season 4, I wanted to rewatch the show from the beginning. I wanted to watch season 4 over and over again. I have not wanted to go back and watch season 5 since I saw it. Like, no. So
it was just kind of very disrespectful. There was too many loose ends. I felt like the writing was just different. This did not feel like the regular crew. The heart behind it seemed gone. And like you said, our biggest thing was, yes, it was a lovely tribute to Eddie, but there was too much teasing. And like you said, they had no problem making money off the Hellfire merchandise, but okay. It definitely was a bummer, and I have to agree, like, that night when Volume 1 first aired, me, Brandy, and Rachel rewatched it, and then we started picking it apart and getting angry, and I went, this wasn't how I was with Season 4. Season 4, I couldn't wait to start from the beginning, couldn't wait to start watching it. It brought me such joy. Season 5, I feel like I'm picking it apart too much, so that's why I think it's going to be really helpful before we do our deep dives, we do what worked for us as fans, because there were some magnificent things. But I know you and I both agree, this is like a bonus one, that rooftop scene with the teens, it just felt so out of place. None of the characters seemed like themselves. unnecessary. I would have been just happy with seeing Steve at the graduation and then the end of him picking up Dustin at college. That would have been fine. It was just really sloppy and it felt forced. I loved that basement scene. It makes me cry every time. It was beautiful. But there was just, like we said, these pieces. And I don't think what we pointed out that we'd fix is too bizarre, too out of control.
No.
You know, maybe the Eddie one, but
Yeah.
everything else, like, it just, these are simple little fixes that I think could have been done that would have made it. And I think the reason why so many people believed in Conformity Gate was they were let down in a sense, and they thought there was going to be more, you know, which, guys, sorry, this is what we got. You got to be happy with it, you know?
Yeah.
You don't like it? That's what fan fiction's for.
Right.
But, you know, it's just...
Watch something else. Sorry.
Yeah,
Like,
sorry, guys. You know, like
that's what we've been doing.
Yeah, like I remember watching it on New Year's Eve with my friend. I cried, of course, and I was like, this is a closure. It breaks my heart. I'll always be a Stranger Things fan, but I find myself rewatching the other seasons, and I'm like, man, it's almost like a completely different writer, you know, took over, a different creator. It just was too different, and I don't know, you know, we'll see what happens, but I give it to the team and the set and the crew and the actors. They did their best, but yeah, those are the things we would have fixed, guys, because season 5, it was a different mixture of emotions, I can tell you that.
And it's just so interesting that they're going to continue to milk this franchise with spinoffs, even after they said that they weren't going to do that for such a long time.
Which blew my mind, yeah.
It's like, I'm here for it. I love the universe and I will watch it, but it's not something I'm going to be like, I don't know. I was like, Stacey, don't make me watch this cartoon. But
Well, get ready for that.
It's like, it's growing on me and I think it could be cool, but it's like, I don't know. Like I
don't think they realized how passionate the fans are. And a lot of them, we're not nitpicking. It's just simple writing, you know? Like, it's almost like they're forgetting things that were like, well, what happened to this? Do they think we're stupid? And the fact that they're doing the Tales of 85, which is taking place between the winter, I guess, before, you know, season 3.
Yeah.
They're introducing all these new characters. I'm like, is this not going to be canon anymore? It's just weird. And then they're saying that spinoff with Henry. I'm like, guys, you've milked it enough. There's a play.
Yeah.
There's a stage play. Come on.
Yeah. And it's, I think that's like, we'll continue to sort of keep everybody updated on all of these like new things that come out, but we're also just excited to sort of talk about other things.
Yeah.
And like, Stranger Things is not going to be like the only thing we talk about on the podcast moving
forward. Yeah, because thankfully, you know, we love a lot of music and movies, and these actors are moving on to really cool, exciting projects. And the Duffer Brothers, same thing right back to them. You know, they're doing different things that are exciting. We're going to see where this universe goes. I don't know. I just think like with season 5, I'm a little hesitant, and I'm a super fan, but we'll definitely see. It should be interesting.
Yeah, for sure. We'll keep you posted. But this was, I think, a fun way to sort of just be, you know, like
real.
Yeah, exactly. Keep it real and go over the things that we just didn't really vibe with. So I like that it was funny that a lot of ours were the same. So,
I think we thought the same as fans. You know, we definitely, like I said, there was so much anticipation. There were years that went by where we were just hyping it up, building it up in our heads. And that's what happened. You know, so it's all good, guys, you know, and we'd love to hear, you know, definitely your thoughts, what you guys would have fixed or not fixed. Definitely send it in. We'd love to hear it. But do you want to talk some merch?
Yeah, I would love to talk some merch.
So I got a lovely Squawk set. Thank you, Eli. It was from the Dr. Collector set, who did that box set back about 2 years ago. This was specifically just for the radio station, which, as you know, I love. It came with a 45 vinyl, which is very pretty. I still have to see if it plays, but I think it plays Diana Ross's Upside Down. Came with a rubber chicken. It came with pictures of Steve and Robin. It came with a cool bumper sticker and magnet. I just love merch like that. There's a flyer about the radio station. A lot of cool stuff. Dr. Collector always really goes in with detail. So huge shout out to that company. I want to thank Black Wanda Shop. They can be found on Instagram and Etsy. They sent me a lovely, and this is the first merch that I have gotten that features Mr. Harrington with his backwards baseball cap. It is marvelous. It is
so
a new
good.
pin. Looks so good. Love it. Rachel, my lovely, lovely friend, her and Brandy, they visited. First of all, Brandy made me a lovely pin board with a ton of Stranger Things and Joe and Joseph Quinn stuff that I have hanging in my bedroom. So shout out to her for doing that. She's got a really good eye of displaying stuff. And Rachel, she gave me like this little like basket. It's from Target. I've told you about it. It looks like a Demogorgon. It's supposed to be a tulip, really. But she got me a second one, which I'm like, oh, bookends. And she got me a lot of good goodies in it and stuff. But one of them, I literally held it up and I went, is this an AA chip? And she went, no, it's an arcade token from Stranger Things. So I went, oh, okay, thank you. Whoops. So really, really cool about that. Love it. Thank you.
Didn't she put some Alani's in that basket?
She put a like Valentine's Day Alani that tasted like cherry cola. It was delicious.
So good. I like that one a lot.
Some printed out pictures of Joe. I loved it. She got me a George Harrison pin because of JQ playing George Harrison. I was like, who's this dude with
I
the
think
mustache?
today's his birthday. Did you
George
post about
Harrison?
that? Yeah. Let me see
No.
if am I making that
Let's
up?
fact check.
George Harrison birthday. 225.
Happy birthday to the late George Harrison, which I showed Andy and Brandy the scene from Dewey Cox where like Paul Rudd
Oh,
and
you
Jack
sent
Black.
it to me too. Yeah.
So good. So good. I was like, yep, this is the real Beatles. And then Brandy got me a Fantastic Four calendar, which was lovely. And I was reminiscing with Rachel last night, rewatching that. And I'm like, remember when Megan was like, well, I'm never seeing that again. That was great. So just big shout out to all my friends. You know, you guys have just been lovely. And, you know, I don't think we got a chance to... Did we shout out Cinco? If we didn't, we're going to shout him out again. Our good friend
I can't remember,
Cinco.
yeah, but he definitely deserves all the shout outs.
He needs another shout out if we didn't do it. He made it into the Guinness Book of World Records for his amazing Stranger Things collection, and there's some really
Insane.
cool YouTube clips of him showing off the collection. So congrats, Cinco. Couldn't have happened to a better dude.
Yeah, that's so cool. And his collection is just so impressive, and he just has it so like he always has had it so well documented and like
Yes.
inventoried and everything. Like he has like the whole website with everything on there. So it's just very impressive and just so like fun. Like just yeah, you can tell he has a great time with it. So congratulations for sure. Speaking of calendars, this is so random, but like I have a Stranger Things calendar from this year. It's pretty cool. Like
Okay.
I can't remember what January was. Oh, it was Elle
Okay.
in her like short season 5 outfit. But the February one is like, I guess it's kind of like season 2. It's like the Mind Flayer and like kids on the bike. It's very like abstract. I'm like looking at it right now.
Okay.
But I used to also have a calendar downstairs by my kitchen sink, and I need to get another one to put there because I'm like doing dishes and like thinking about like things in my head, and I like am
Looking
like
over for a
looking to
calendar?
the calendar to like see, oh, how many weeks is that, like, and I'm like, I used to have a calendar there for a whole year and I don't have one there anymore, and it's like
Love that.
it's stressing me out. I like
You
literally
need a
have looked
calendar.
at a blank wall because apparently I want to think about the calendar while I'm doing dishes. So
I mean, yeah.
I need to get another calendar. The one I had last year was like Alaska because I knew I was going to Alaska
Cute.
like in the beginning of the year, so somebody gave me one for Christmas. Like, but
Dude, we should do a Skull Rock calendar, and it's like the most unflattering fucking photos of us over the year.
no, I'm not doing
Yeah,
that.
absolutely. We'll do the one of you holding my hand as we're trying to go down Skull Rock, and I'm wearing flats like an idiot. Yeah, we'll do that.
That is a pretty iconic picture.
Love
Yeah.
that.
So I need
Good
something
times.
like scenic to look at while I'm like doing dishes.
That's
so.
as scenic as you get, man.
But that was cool. Lots of fun merch that
Yes.
you got going
Shout
on.
out to Sean Astin, too. Today's his birthday. Bob the Brain.
Oh, wow. George Harrison, Sean Astin. It's a
Look
great
at
day to
that.
have a birthday. They're all
Woo.
Pisces, I think.
Yes. And shout out to Maya. We typically don't talk about their private life, but she recently got married in New York.
Oh,
So
I know. It was
Stranger
so
Things
beautiful.
crew was there.
Yeah.
Awesome. And I know Millie's birthday just passed, so lots of celebrations going on.
I love that they were all there, and I loved the like jokes that like they had their monthly meetup. Like,
Yep. They're
that
like,
was
"Look."
really cute.
Yeah. Kiri's holding
Um,
something that looks like a breadstick or a candle. I'm like, good for him. He grabbed it from the ceremony.
It was really funny and cute photos, but like they were definitely paparazzi photos, but they were like really
looked gorgeous. Yeah.
paparazzi photos.
So
like...
we'll okay 'em. And last but not least, congratulations to both of us. We got Tame Impala and Joe tickets for the summer.
We didn't even talk about
We didn't even talk about it.
I think I blacked it out of my mind because
Was that like your Vietnam? Were you stressed?
Pre-sales are so stressful. Like, and that was tough. Yeah, because it was a hard pre-sale.
I had Rachel who fought that battle. Shout out Rachel, because I was not doing well. But a lot of people, they were like, I'm 20,000th in the queue. And I'm like, that fast? Like,
yeah, it was so interesting because I have never done it where I try to get in more than one queue at a time because
okay.
you can like on Ticketmaster, like if you join a queue for one date, you can join a queue for another date as well.
Didn't know that.
So I had joined to the queue for like the Saturday show in Baltimore, and I had joined that one first, and I had been in the waiting room for like 30 minutes before that, and I got like 24,000 or something like that as my number. But like I left, like I was using the Ticketmaster app on my phone, went to the Sunday show, joined that queue, didn't really stick around to even like see what number I was.
Yeah.
But then I went back to the other one just to like check that I was still in it and it was working. So then I went back and checked my queue number for the Sunday show and I was only like 11,000.
Okay.
So I was like, okay, well, I'm going to end up getting into the Sunday one first.
Yeah.
So then I just waited on the Sunday one to open up, got my ticket for Sunday, then went back and continued waiting for my Saturday one. So I was doing both at the same time and it worked, but it was very stressful to like leave them and come back. But like, I don't know, on the app, and I think it does it on the website too. It shows you like your QID number, and it's like it was like as long as you don't like leave this device and try to like get on a different device, you should save your spot in line. So it did save my spot, but like, yeah,
it's always a weekday too that they do it at like noon just to screw people. I'm like,
yeah.
So you got Baltimore, correct?
Both nights in Baltimore, but just
nice.
And
I got Boston for a night, so I'm pumped.
Yeah, the GA sold out really quickly, I think.
Because I didn't realize Tame hadn't toured for a while, so this was a big deal.
Yeah. And I think it's good that Ticketmaster isn't allowing like really big ticket markups because it's so funny. I looked at like the Bruce Springsteen tour that had pre-sale last week or the sale was last week, and after the sale was over, there were already tons of resale tickets on Ticketmaster for like $2,000, $3,000. Yeah.
Wow. I hate people that do that.
For like good seats and stuff, but like you know they bought them just to flip them. And and people will pay $1,000 to see Bruce Springsteen. So it's like, I don't know. I would. Well, I wouldn't, but if I had the money, I would.
Yeah, if you had fuck off money.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but for like $2,000, like Joe would have to give me a lap dance.
Yeah.
Like with the snake that Britney Spears did at the VMAs. It would have to be like that theatrical.
Yeah. That would be awesome.
But hey, we got something to look forward to this summer.
Yeah.
So woo-hoo.
Yeah. I have 4 concerts in 1 week in July to look forward to.
Who you seeing?
Joe twice.
Love that.
Death Cab for Cutie.
I can't believe it.
I don't know what song that you're trying to sing.
When soul meets body.
Oh yeah, that one. I love it.
Asshole. Continue.
And Noah Kahan,
Nice.
because I won that Ticketmaster battle too.
You're better than me. I think I would panic and piss my pants and just shut my phone off.
That was kind of an impulse purchase because I was like, I wanted to go, but I wasn't really sure. And
Girl math. Yeah.
I did like how they did their pre-sale on Ticketmaster because you had to sign up for individual shows. It wasn't like a code situation. You could only sign up for like 3, but when you signed up, you had to like take a selfie and like verify that you were like a human, which was weird. But like
Johnny number 5's like, fuck.
And then you didn't have to put in a code when you did the pre-sale, which the code thing threw me off on the Joe thing because for some reason when I got my Sunday ticket and it asked me for the code right away. But when I got in for my Saturday ticket, it didn't ask me for the code, and I was seeing tickets, but they were all like the really expensive official platinum tickets. So I didn't realize that I hadn't put my code in yet.
Oh,
and
you silly goose.
The only thing that made me realize it was that I like switched to the map view and I was seeing some seats and I clicked on a seat and then it was like, you need to unlock this seat. But it wasn't showing me all of the available seats.
Unlock the seat.
And then once I put the code in, it unlocked and I saw more seats. So it was like, it was very glitchy. And like, I figured it out, but it was like, it was stressful. So the whole not having to put a code in was nice for the Noah Kahan pre-sale. Yeah. I prefer
stressed
that,
out just
actually.
Hearing about it.
Yeah,
man.
Like let me take a selfie. That's fine. That if I don't have to put in a code, then great. Yeah. I'll take a selfie.
Man, duck lips, peace sign. Yeah, hell yeah, the whole nine yards. So like that's a robot. Well, it was lovely talking with you. I hope you have safe and fun journeys and travels. I will be telling everybody that you got kidnapped at sea by the pirates. But yeah, just where can they find us, my friend?
We hang out on social media a lot, mostly on Instagram. We are at Skull Rock Broadcast for the podcast. I am at Steady Stories and Stacy is at Stay Still Reviews. We also have a Patreon where we post ad-free versions of our new episodes. We also have lots of bonus content. We take requests, apparently, because we had a new Patreon member going back and looking at some of our old clips, and we talked about an interview. And don't you worry, Stacy found the interview.
I found the interview. And after Megan comes back from her travels, we will be having a very fun giveaway that has to do with Joe. But we have a lot of fun stuff. We even have a St. Patrick's Day themed episode coming on down the line, guys. So stay tuned.
Yeah, just for Patreon members. And we have had some new Patreon members and some returning Patreon members lately. So we appreciate all of you. And we're going to do Patreon shout outs in our next episode.
Amen.
Hold us to that. If we don't do it, it's because I have ADHD, but it's undiagnosed. So
that's why we love you.
Oh, all right. Well, we love you guys. We will talk to you in a few weeks. And until then, over and out.
Over and out.
Peace.
Peace.